Live from New Delhi, you're watching Lead India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Kaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Israel accuses Iran of firing missiles armed with cluster bombs, vows to retaliate. Trump weighs US involvement in the conflict to make decision within 2 weeks. Amid escalating West Asia tensions, European power to hold nuclear talks with Iran in Geneva to press for diplomatic solution over Tehran's nuclear program. Russia and Ukraine exchange another batch of prisoners under an agreement struck in Istanbul. Moscow rejects Ukrainian calls for an unconditional ceasefire at the talks. Erick makes landfall as a Category 3 hurricane, the strongest to hit Mexico so early in the year, brings life-threatening flooding and mudslides, leaves a trail of damage. It's baptism with fire for Shubman Gill as he starts captaincy of Indian cricket team in England. First test starts in Leeds today as India seeks to find form without Virat and Rohit. Another day of attacks, counter-attacks and bombarding continued between Iran and Israel. The week-old conflict seems to be escalating with each passing day, with no sign yet of an exit strategy from either of the sides. Israel attacked Iranian Special Forces headquarters of the internal security apparatus in Tehran and bombed nuclear targets. Israeli military strikes hit Iran's Khondab heavy water research reactor, a project under construction that had not begun operating, and damaged the nearby plant that makes heavy water. Earlier, Israel said that it had struck Iran's Natanz and Isfahan nuclear sites. It also targeted the partially built Arak heavy water research reactor, also known as Khondab, in central Iran. It was in response to Iran firing missiles and drones at Israel. It accused Iran of deliberately targeting civilians in the hospital attack by using a missile that scattered smaller bombs over a wider area. It was the first reported use of cluster munitions in the 7-day-old conflict. One of the small munitions struck a home in the central Israeli town of Azor, causing some damage. Cluster bombs are controversial because they indiscriminately scatter submunitions, some of which can fall to explode and kill or injure long after a conflict ends. Iranian strikes also damaged the Soroka Medical Center in Israel's southern city of Beersheba. US President Donald Trump has kept the world guessing on its plans, veering from proposing a swift diplomatic solution to suggesting the US might join the fighting on Israel's side, but that may take 2 weeks to decide. Citing a message from Trump, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt informed the reporters about Trump's plans.
In light of that news, I have a message directly from the President, and I quote, "Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks."
Leavitt also said that Trump was interested in pursuing a diplomatic solution with Iran, but his top priority was ensuring that Iran could not obtain a nuclear weapon. She said US officials remained convinced that Iran had never been closer to obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Very clear. Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon. All they need is a decision from the supreme leader to do that. And it would take a couple of weeks to complete the production of that weapon, which would of course pose an existential threat, not just to Israel, but to the United States and to the entire world. And that is something that the entire world, including countries like Russia, is in agreement with, that Iran should not and cannot obtain a nuclear weapon.
The foreign ministers of Britain, France and Germany, known as the E3, will meet with European Union's top diplomat Kaja Kallas in Germany's permanent mission in Geneva. France, Germany, Britain and the European Union were all signatories of the 2015 nuclear agreement with Iran, which Trump sunk during his first term in office. The EU's Kailash, in coordination with European countries, has insisted that diplomacy remains the best path towards ensuring that Iran does not develop a nuclear bomb. Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi would also join these talks on his country's nuclear program with the counterparts. Tensions are escalating rapidly in West Asia amid the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel. In response, countries around the world are moving swiftly to evacuate their citizens from the region. From New Delhi to Lisbon, governments are mounting large-scale operations to bring their nationals home. Here's a comprehensive look at the global evacuation efforts.
India has launched Operation Sindhu to evacuate its citizens from Iran amid growing hostilities. 110 students were flown from Armenia's capital to New Delhi on the first evacuation flight. An estimated 10,000 Indians are currently in Iran. Efforts are also underway to bring back Indian nationals from Israel. There are more than 30,000 Indians in Israel. China has successfully evacuated over 1,600 citizens from Iran, with additional evacuations from Israel ongoing. The Chinese Foreign Ministry confirmed that several thousand nationals remain in the region, with further operations planned as the situation develops. The United States is utilizing both air and sea routes to evacuate its nationals from Israel. US Ambassador stated that flights and cruise ship departures are being arranged, with embassy teams assisting the Americans who wish to leave. Germany has conducted multiple evacuation flights from Jordan. On Wednesday, 171 people were flown out of Amman, followed by another 174 on Thursday. Officials confirmed additional flights are scheduled for the weekend. A final group of 65 Polish citizens arrived in Warsaw on Thursday, marking the completion of Poland's evacuation mission from Iran. In Lisbon, Portugal welcomed evacuees at the airport. A repatriation flight carried not only Portuguese citizens, but also German, Israel, Czech, Spanish, Austrian, Bulgarian, Argentine, and Ukrainian nationals, highlighting a coordinated multinational effort. France is organizing a ground convoy to transport its citizens from Iran to neighboring Turkey or Armenia. Buses will begin operating from Israel's Jordanian border on Friday with a chartered flight. With the conflict continuing to unfold, countries are racing against time to secure the safety of their citizens. Governments remain on high alert, closely monitoring the situation as evacuation effort expands. Sarita Chaudhary's report, DD India.
The head of Russia's Nuclear Energy Corporation has warned that an Israeli attack on Iran's Bushehr nuclear power plant could exceed all known nuclear accidents in the history of mankind. Bushehr is Iran's only operating nuclear power plant and was built by Russia.
There are no hits anywhere in the area of the station, and especially not to the site itself. And we very much hope that the Israeli leadership will maintain a sober, balanced position in this regard, because any strike on an operating gigawatt-class facility and the capacity of the first block of the operating Bushehr reactor is 1,000 megawatts is a catastrophe comparable to or perhaps even surpassing all known nuclear accidents in the history of mankind.
Ukraine and Russia exchanged prisoners of war on Thursday. Officials from both the countries said the latest round of swaps under an agreement struck in Istanbul. During the talks, the first direct negotiations between the sides in 3 years, both countries agreed to free more than 1,000 prisoners of war from each side, all wounded, ill or under 25 years old. Russia's defense ministry confirmed the exchange, posting pictures of soldiers draped in Russian flags, cheering and waving. Zelensky posted similar photos of freed Ukrainian soldiers, crying, smiling and calling loved ones after being swapped. In Istanbul, Moscow and Kyiv also reached a deal to repatriate more than 6,000 dead Ukrainian soldiers, with several stages of handover carried out in recent weeks. While Moscow has rejected Ukrainian calls for an unconditional ceasefire at the talks, demanding instead that Kyiv cede more territory and renounce Western military support as a precondition for peace. Denmark will continue supporting Ukraine's preparations for EU membership despite Hungary blocking negotiations. The Nordic country's European Affairs Minister, Marie Gere, said that Denmark would do everything it can to help Ukraine continue with the necessary reform work. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban has firmly opposed supplying NATO military support and EU aid to Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukraine has already begun the required reforms and is prepared to accelerate the negotiation process. Additionally, Denmark will also seek to reach agreement among EU nations on the bloc's planned 2040 climate goals.
Og så handler sikkerhed også om udvidelse med nye medlemslande. Fordi vi har brug for et mere stabilt Europa og et Europa med en stærkere geopolitisk vægt. Og derfor vil vi prioritere fremskridt på forhandlingerne med særligt Ukraine, som kæmper for vores frihed. Men vi vil også prioritere forhandlingerne med Moldova og de andre kandidatlande på Vestbalkan.
Hurricane Erick weakened to a tropical storm after making landfall as a major hurricane on Mexico's southern Pacific coast on Thursday, leaving a trail of damages in the southern state of Guerrero. Hurricane Erick made a landfall early on Thursday morning as a Category 3 storm near Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca, but weakened to a tropical storm by mid-afternoon with 50 meters per hour winds. Hurricane Erick left behind a destroyed building and debris in Guerrero. The head of Mexico's Civil Protection Agency, Laura Velasquez, said that no immediate deaths were reported. Officials cautioned that Erick's intense rains remained dangerous. The U.S. National Hurricane Center warned of life-threatening flooding and mudslides. Meanwhile, Hurricane Erick caused widespread destruction in Oaxaca, southern Mexico, uprooting trees and damaging homes. In Oaxaca's San Jose del Progreso, plantations of palm trees and bananas were damaged, with many trees seen uprooted or blown over. In the town of Huquiton, a river overflowed and flooded streets and displaced hundreds of families. You're watching DD India Live. We're heading for a short break, but after the break, we get you the latest on Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal's UK visit. Up next, we get you a report on how the world is gearing up for International Day of Yoga 2025. We also get you amazing visuals from Venezuela, where the locals mark triumph of good over evil in Corpus Christi Devil's Dance.
Jharkhand will mesmerize you with majestic nature, rich heritage and colorful culture.
Johar. अरे it fits perfectly.
Thank you.
Full workout हो गया.
Ready?
Postcards from Jharkhand on National Geographic.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. President of India Draupadi Murmu inaugurated Rashtrapati Niketan at Rajpur Road in Uttarakhand in the presence of Governor, retired Lieutenant General Gurmeet Singh and State Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. Rashtrapati Niketan and Rashtrapati Tapovan will be open for public viewing from June 24th. The President visited the National Institute of Empowerment of Persons with Visual Disabilities. The visit highlighted the Government of India's commitment to inclusive development and the empowerment of persons with visual impairment. During her visit, the President interacted with students, reviewed facilities and emphasized on the importance of accessibility and equal opportunities for all. Later in the evening, the President will release a postage stamp on Raj Bhavan, Nainital on the completion of its 125 years. She will be visiting Uttarakhand till June 21st, where the President will participate in a mass yoga demonstration at Uttarakhand State Police Line Maidan, Dehradun, on the International Day of Yoga. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be on a three-state visit for 2 days from Friday, a tour that will include the launch of multiple developmental projects in Bihar and Odisha and his participation in a mass yoga program on the International Day of Yoga from Visakhapatnam. Our next report tells you about the details of what Prime Minister Modi is going to do during his visit to the states of Bihar and Odisha on Friday, that is 20th of June.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting the eastern Indian states of Bihar, Odisha on Friday.
The Prime Minister's first stop will be Bihar, where he will lay the foundation stone and inaugurate multiple development projects in Siwan around noon. The projects are expected to give a major boost to infrastructure and socio-economic development in the region. The Prime Minister will inaugurate the new Vaishali Deora railway line project worth over 400 crore rupees and flag off a new train service on this route. Additionally, PM Modi will also flag off the Vande Bharat Express between Patliputra and Gorakhpur via Muzaffarpur and Betia to improve connectivity in North Bihar. Furthering the vision of Make in India, Make for the World, Prime Minister will also flag off the first state-of-the-art locomotive built at Marhaura plant for export to the Republic of Guinea. As part of conservation and rejuvenation plan of River Ganga, Prime Minister will inaugurate 6 sewage treatment plants under the Namami Gange project worth over 1,800 crore rupees, catering to the needs of the people in the region. Also, in a major boost to power infrastructure in the region, PM Modi will lay the foundation stone for a 500 megawatt battery energy storage system BESS capacity in Bihar. Later, Prime Minister will visit Bhubaneswar in Odisha and chair a function marking the completion of 1 year of the BJP government in Odisha in the evening.
On June 20, this visit marks not only the first anniversary of BJP government in Odisha, but also his first trip to the state after the success of Operation Sindoor.
For Odisha's holistic development, the Prime Minister will also inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of multiple development projects worth over 18,600 crore rupees. These projects will cover critical sectors including drinking water, irrigation, agricultural infrastructure, health infrastructure, rural roads and bridges, sections of national highways, and a new railway line. The train service extending rail connectivity to both districts for the first time will be inaugurated by the Prime Minister. In a major boost to clean energy and sustainable transportation, PM Modi will flag off 100 electric buses under the Capital Region Urban Transport System, supporting a modern, eco-friendly urban mobility network. With inputs from Dheeraj Kumar in Patna and Somesh Patel in Bhubaneswar, Bureau Report, DD India.
Union Minister of Commerce and Industry Piyush Goyal, who is on a visit to United Kingdom, held a productive meeting with Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves. Both the leaders discussed avenues for collaboration in financial framework, sustainable finance and unlocking new trade opportunities to further strengthen the India-UK economic partnership. The minister had an engaging discussion with Oliver Prill, CEO of Tide, a business financial platform based in the UK. With India's massive stride in the digital world, both the leaders discussed the fintech ecosystem, digital empowerment and fostering SME-led growth across both the economies. Earlier, Union Minister Piyush Goyal delivered the keynote address at the IGF main stage plenary session titled From Agreement to Action, the UK-India FTA. The Union Minister reaffirmed India's commitment to transitioning the FTA from a negotiated text into a transformative economic partnership. The Kailash Mansarovar Yatra resumed from Sikkim's Nathula on Friday, where the Governor of Sikkim, Om Prakash Mathur, flagged off the first batch of 36 pilgrims. This marks the first time in 5 years that Indian pilgrims are undertaking the sacred journey. Governor Mathur also interacted with the Yatris before their departure. Additional Chief Secretary C.S. Rao said that departments are working together to ensure a smooth conduct of the Yatra, which holds deep spiritual significance. An encounter between police and Naxals is underway in Chhattisgarh's Kanker district, with reports saying 2 Naxals have been killed. So far, official confirmation has come for only 1 death. Firing continues from both sides in the Chote Bethia police station area. The encounter has been ongoing since this morning. Yoga is about plugging into an uninterrupted source of power. India's Ministry of Piyush aims to integrate yoga in daily governance and office routines. Thus, it has urged yoga leaders to organize Yoga Sangam on June 21st and make sure the event is part of the global celebration by registering it on the yoga portal. And now we take you to Visakhapatnam, where the stage is all set for a grand celebration of the International Day of Yoga with the theme Yoga for One Earth, One Health. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister will join thousands in a display of unity, wellness and India's timeless gift to the world. DD India Siddharth Bharadwaj gets us more.
Yoga for One Earth, One Health. This is a theme of International Day of Yoga 2025. And I'm here in Visakhapatnam. Behind me, you can see the stage where Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with Chief Minister of the state N. Chandrababu Naidu, will lead over 5 lakh people in performing the common yoga protocol. This is the street which will be filled up with the people. This is almost 10-kilometer stretch which will be filled up with the people who will be performing yoga tomorrow on 21st of June, which is known as the International Day of Yoga. Well, June 21st has its own significance as to why this particular day was chosen on June 21st, because it is summer solstice, the biggest day in the northern hemisphere, and when it comes to the cultures, it holds a great significance in different parts of the world. The security protocol here is pretty tight. Different teams of police personnel along with other teams have been deployed to make sure that everything goes in a smooth line manner. It was in the year 2014 when the United Nations proclaimed this day as the International Day of Yoga, and this is the 11th International Day of Yoga. People, especially youngsters, are saying that they have already inculcated yoga in their everyday lives, and in fact they are inspiring their friends, families and relatives to take yoga in their everyday life. And people are very exciting for tomorrow, and it's not just a one-day observance. This is something which inspires millions out there to take yoga, to practice yoga in their everyday lives. It is affordable, it is cheap. One thing which requires is the consistency. With camera person Gaurav Giri, this is Siddharth Bharadwaj reporting for TD India in Visakhapatnam.
In a unique and uplifting moment ahead of the 11th International Day of Yoga, a dog trained by the National Disaster Response Force emerged as an unexpected star of a special yoga session held at the 13th Battalion campus in Jammu and Kashmir's Udhampur. It wasn't a senior officer or yoga expert, but a stray dog trained by NDRF personnel over 2 years that captured hearts by flawlessly mirroring yoga asanas along with 55 human practitioners. The event held on Friday aimed to promote wellness and mindfulness, but the dog's precision in poses and stretches left everyone in awe. On to sports now. India is all set to face England in Leeds as the first of the 5-match test series that begins from today onwards. Going ahead in the match, India would like to continue their domination over England in the longest format of the game, having not lost a series against England since 2021. As far as England is concerned, the Ben Stokes-led side would hope to reclaim the India versus England series trophy, which has eluded them for a few years now. Historically, England and India have played 135 tests, with England winning 51, India 35 and 50 ending in draws. And with both the teams brimming with confidence, an exciting match is expected at Leeds. As we wrap up this bulletin, let's take a look at the vibrant celebration of Corpus Christi in northern Venezuela. On Thursday, the streets of Naguata came to life as dancing devils took to the stage, thanking God for the triumph of good over evil in this deeply rooted tradition. Dressed in colorful costumes, performers paraded through the town in a joyful display of artistry, shaking handcrafted cardboard masks and ringing bells to symbolically drive away the evil spirits. All right, with that, we end this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those of you on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on the DD India mobile app. And this app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Preeti Kaur signing off, and from all of us in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.